The shooting death of Colton Boushie has quickly become a symbol of racial conflict in Canada, and the jury's decision to acquit Gerald Stanley in his death is now sparking outrage.
A white jury came out with a verdict of not guilty of Gerald Stanley, who shot and killed my nephew.
Boushie was shot in the head on Stanley's farm in August 2016. Stanley testified it was an accident. This weekend, thousands of people rallied in cities across Canada to protest what they call an injustice. Joining me now with reaction is Bobby Cameron, Chief of the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations. Sir, thank you very much for being here this morning.
Thank you. Thank you as well.
There has been an outpouring of support for the Boushie family. There's a lot of cases in this country that don't see the people of the country rising up, galvanizing in support of the victim. Why do you think this one has resonated so much?
Well, the plain simple fact that there was a murder that committed by Gerald Stanley in broad daylight, and the excuse was, I didn't mean to do it, boom, the thing just went off. You know, it's frustrating, it's concerning. The justice system, and we've been saying it for many decades, the justice system has to change. It must change.
Well, Chief, let's talk about some of these changes, because a lot of ink has been spilt over the fact that there were no visible Indigenous jurors involved in this case. We've also talked to a lawyer earlier today who said that the changes to the system are much deeper. Are much deeper than just the jury selection process. What are your thoughts on the changes that need to happen inside our judicial system?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there are many changes. The system is flawed. It was designed to fail First Nations people and many other people. There has to be more positive change, and you're not going to get any better recommendations from people who have suffered through the justice system. Families like the Boushie family, Debbie Baptiste, Jay Tatusis, and Elvin Baptiste. You know, we're looking forward to some of the serious dialogue that's going to begin today in Ottawa with Minister Bennett, and tomorrow with Minister Wilson and Ralph Goodale, and we're really pushing for some time with our Prime Minister Trudeau.
Chief, we're looking at this really from a flyover position. How can we fix the justice system moving forward? But how would you like to look back and get justice, as you see it, for Colton Boushie?
First off, I want to say we want to make it clear. The priority is to get an appeal, and then we'll look at the inquiry and then the changes. But an appeal first, then that has to happen.
I'm sorry, we had the Prime Minister tweeted out a sentiment of regret to the Boushie family. We heard a similar sentiment from the Minister of Justice. And there are critics who say that if those people actually want an appeal, this could derail those chances by saying that it could potentially taint the jury pool. What are your thoughts on politicians speaking out publicly like this?
The politicians are just speaking from the heart, and they're speaking the truth. So critics will be critics. The fact of matters remains that a young man got killed. There was no justice. And I pose this question to all those critics and to all those people that think that Gerald Stanley was justified in what he did. What would you do if that was your child? What would you expect, and how would you feel?
Lastly, I'd like to ask, reconciliation was the centerpiece of this government celebration of Canada 150. Do you think that something like this is a step backward in our efforts as a nation to achieve reconciliation with First Nations?
Yeah, it's a huge step backwards. However, putting our brains together, our minds together, and our hearts together should rectify it. I want to make this one last statement. When these changes happen, because they're going to happen, something like the title Jordan's Principle, maybe we title it Colton's Law, Colton's Changes, something to that effect. So thank you for your time, and we're going to continue to support the family any way we can every single day. Thank you very much.
Chief Bobby Cameron, we thank you for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.